Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell from the title, I'm talking about books that I've read so far this year and books that I have on the list to read. And I'm so excited because I love reading and I wanted to share it with you just to inspire you or just to give you an ideas of any books that you want to add to your list. You can find me on Goodreads. I just found that app that it allows you to give reviews, and you can also see reviews of other books by people, and you can see their opinions as well as, you know, a little sneak peek of the book. And I like that because it comes from real people and you can see their list of what they read. It's just like an Instagram for books, so I like that. So I want to share with you the books I've read so far this year, as well as listen through audibles. I love Audible. It's just easy. Uh, you can listen to a book as you're cleaning. You can listen to a book as you're doing any chores, laundry, or as you're driving in the car. And that's what I love about that. It's so flexible and it's good. You know, it makes you also, it gives you, a lot of people don't like listening to books because they think, well, I don't see the picture of it as if I'm reading, and that's what reading is about, you know, imagining it yourself and seeing it in your head. But with Audible, you can actually do it, and you could also choose the speed that you're listening to. So if you're a fast reader, you can put up the speed a little higher, or if you're a slow reader, you can put the speed a little bit lower. And I also love that it picks up where you left off. And it tells you chapter 1, chapter 2, just in case you love the book that you actually want to buy the copy. That will work. So I am into books. I love reading. We just declutter our books section just because we felt that we want to keep the books that we'll reach for again. And you know, Barnes and Noble was here in Chicago, and now we don't have a Barnes and Noble here, so we will have to travel to Skokie or Evanston. And I know the one in Evanston, Illinois, has been removed. So the only one that there is in Skokie, and that thinking about it, that one also moved. So we are, you know, we don't have that much bookstores anymore. And what I wanted to tell you is that you can also go into used bookstores. So we donated the books that we are not reading into used stores, as well as Salvation Army. And I love that because I also love going to Salvation Army and look at the book section, the cookbook, and all that stuff. But I love going to used bookstores because you're supporting someone's, you know, someone's home, someone's business. So I have a couple of books here that I got from a used bookstore, and I am more into getting books from a used bookstore or a thrift store that I can actually return to them and redonate it, and someone else could read it. So we're not just piling up books. So I'm gonna get started with the books I have read so far this year. Alright, so one of my favorite books so far, it's like a random book like you won't see at a Barnes and Noble or something, or you will be like, I'm not sure if I want to pick up this book, but it's called Murder on Pea Pike. It is a not thriller, it's like a suspense book. It's like one of those movies or shows that you put on TV that is like, okay, so who killed this person, or what is this person, you know, being accused of. It's like that. It's a really fun story. It takes, you know, it shows you and describes well the lives of the persons. It describes the person so good that I can picture who will play in a movie or a show if this was to become a show. So it is really good. I love it. I will keep it and I will read it again. For me, reading books is when I'm taking a bath. Listening when I'm cleaning the dishes early in the morning, when I'm doing chores and stuff like that, I like listening to the books. And I just got into Kindle, reading the books through Kindle, because I don't want the actual book. I just want to read it and not have to piling up, like I mentioned. So this one is really good. It's like a mystery. It's a really good mystery book. And I love mystery books. So this one is a must read. I also read Eat to Love. And this one basically teaches mindfulness about eating and intuitive eating. And I like to advocate and just teach people how, you don't have to diet culture has messed up a lot of our minds, including mine, and our relationship with food. And you can have a better relationship with food and still enjoy everything that you eat. And I love this because it's basically putting every program, every diet program, or every aspect of dieting into perspective. And it wants you to transform your life while you're enjoying the foods that you actually need in your body and the foods that you want, and basically changing your approach with eating, so you can actually do it for someone else. So I would really recommend this book. I had a book club with this book, and it's basically transforming the way you see the diet culture, and taking care of yourself is different. It's not just going to the doctor and getting a checkup. It's more of a mindful and mental drive and a mental state that you have to be in to understand that it's not just what it has been thought. It's more and beyond, and you have control over your body and you have control over your health. And this right here is like basically eat to love, like eating to love yourself, learning to love yourself, and learning that there's no fight or there's no problem or there's nothing that you should be afraid of when it comes to food. So I really recommend Eat to Love, and it's a book that I will always keep. There's so many references, stories that I will always go to, just in case I want to educate someone, or if I ever want to have another book club again, this one will be a must. Next is a favorite book. I read this in high school, and his story just pulled me through. It's like, it's a story that I just want to, it broke my heart, but it was like his strength really helped me through, through my teen years. And I wanted the hard copy and I got it. So is this A Night by Elie Wiesel? He is a survivor of the Holocaust, and he won the Nobel Prize. And it's a really descriptive book, and it shows the terrifying moments that they went through. It shows the terrifying moments from his perspective, even at the older age. And I just love his perseverance, the way that he views life now, and the way that he always viewed life throughout the hardships. So this is always on my reading list every year, because it also helps me be grateful for what I have, and also helps me, understand that, people go through so much throughout their lives, and it's not always what it seems. So yeah, so this is, if you have not read this, it's a must for you to read. And next one that I am currently reading, and I like to go through the pages, is Plant Magic. I am into herbalism, holistic health, and this one right here caught my attention because there's so many plants out there, outside your window that you can use to help yourself and to support your, your health. And I just love making things at home. I love making my own bread, my own granola, my own plant-based milk, my own plant-based vegan butter, and it's just a different feeling when you go to the store and just, it became, in society, going to the store and someone else making it for you, it just became a repetition where we never really paid attention to ingredients or where it came from. And now, society wants to make sure that where everything comes from, it's a clean source. And I'm vegan, and I want everything to be a clean source. And I'm, I worked in healthcare for a long time, and I want to have the more natural approach to things. And I feel that I am the gatekeeper of my home, and I have control over what comes in. So I love having this. It's like a reference guide of plants, of how recipes you can do, of, medical teas you can make. And it has so many recipes as well as benefits. And it helps you understand the nature outside your window, outside your home, in your parks. And also be grateful for it because it's there and we can use it. So this is something that I will always reach for too. Yeah. Okay, so one of the books I listened to in Audible was Becoming Supernatural. And this right here is basically people doing extraordinary things for themselves, learning how stress affects you, learning how meditation can heal you, and learning that, you know, our routine that we have been trained or taught to do has also affect us. Basically, you know, getting used to your work routine can also affect you and stuff like that. And just having the mind power to heal yourself and help yourself, it's extraordinary. So Becoming Supernatural, this book like changed my whole perspective on meditation. It has helped me a lot with manifestation and just having a positive mindset, because sometimes, you know, life gets hard and we just forget that, you know, if your mindset is so sad, or like you're thinking I'm never going to be able to do this, your mind and your body take on that energy and it becomes more heavy. Whether when you are saying, well, I can do this, it's possible, and you meditate and you just create those little practices to help yourself and self-heal yourself, it helps you. So Becoming Supernatural, it's one of the books I listened to this year, and it changed my whole life. And I will recommend it 1,000 times. Next one, it was a book club that I joined with so many girls, and girls I never met before. So it is called Everybody Always. And I can tell you, Bob Goff has the best perspective in things. Like everybody always, love everybody always. Basically how Jesus had created the world for us to be together, and we never really thought about it. Like your neighbor, you know, that person was placed there for a reason, and loving them, you know, as you love yourself, because you have to love everybody always. Also being patient with people around you, and just thinking, and he says something here in this book, who is the person that it's the hardest to love in your life? And it makes you think, you know, the person that annoys you, the person that irritates you, the person that, oh, I cannot be around that person. Or he puts in perspective, oh, you know, I don't like my neighbor because this and that, you know, it puts that in perspective. And that person that it is so hard to love is the one that needs you the most, and is the one that needs your love the most, because you never know what they're going through. He shares a story about a neighbor that became family for him, and I can relate to that. But yeah, it's like love how Jesus loved, and it puts that in perspective as well, a different perspective than just, you know, reading the Bible and going to church when they say Jesus loved us or God loved us and he gave us his only son. It gives them a perspective on actual human life and actual human, you know, experiences. So it's a must read. I really love it. I will listen to it again, and I will read it. If I had the paper copy, I will read it. Okay, so that might seem like a little list of books I've read. We're in July, but I'm getting myself into reading. So I have a list of books that I want to read for the rest of the year, and I wanted to share them with you. Okay, so a book that I am reading on Kindle, it's a book club that I got the opportunity to join with PETA. There's this group of students that are, you know, they're, what do you call that? They are protesting, they are sharing about animal rights. And it's basically like a branch of PETA where students take control of, you know, of telling other people or younger people how it is and how it was and how it continues to be a problem with animal rights and fighting for animal rights. And that really goes deeply into my heart and my purpose and what I'm working on, and fighting for animal rights, fighting for equality for them and liberation. And so I joined this book club, which I'm so grateful for, but the book is called Free the Animals, and it's written by the founder of PETA. And this book, just to think about it, it breaks my heart because it's a reality. It's something that someone is going through right now as I'm speaking, and it's something that someone went through. And what I like to share about people when I say I'm vegan, I like to, educate them and just nicely tell them, well, think about replacing your milk, or think about replacing your products for vegan and cruelty free products that not only benefit you as a person, your skin, your body, but it benefits someone else as, trapped in a cage being tested on, or someone that's, on the dairy line standing there all day. Yeah, it's a whole concept, but this book, like, it breaks my heart thinking about it, but it's a must read if you are looking into animal rights, or if you want to see why people are vegan. This is the must read. Or if you want your family to understand, make a book club for your family and have this book there, because it is amazing. Like, I will keep reading this book over and over again, because it breaks my heart, but it gives me that drive to keep fighting for them. So Free the Animals is a must read. To share the books that I am going to read for the rest of the year. I know I've read a little bit, but I'm trying to get into reading. After working a 9 to 5, you don't really have time for much. So I'm realigning my life to having time for myself and the things I want to do, and reading is one of them. So the first on the list, and I think a lot of people have read this in school, it's called To Kill a Mockingbird. I have never read that book. In high school, we read The Great Gatsby, Raisin in the Sun, but not To Kill a Mockingbird. And it's a classic, yeah. So I'm going to read that. That's on the list. I also have here The Journey of Trees. And I bought this before Barnes & Noble around here in Evanston closed down, and it was on sale. The Journey of Trees, a story about forests, people, and the future. And I love books like this where it shows, how nature and us humans combine, and how we are one, and we should protect it to protect ourselves, which comes with, taking care of animals and all of that stuff. Another book I got from a used bookstore is called The Lives of Animals. And it basically is written by someone where the idea of animal torture or animal abuse is not basically a person that, you live your life in this society, and then you realize, oh, that's not right, and then you put yourself into empathetically and put yourself in those animals' place, and it hurts. So it's a book that I'm planning to read. Another book that I got from the same used bookstore, and is the same type of book as the Murder on Pea Pike. It is a mystery book, but it's an oldie, and I love the cover. It's so vintage. It's called Death in the Garden. And it's basically a woman on her 30th birthday with a party at a country state. Imagine how beautiful back in the 1920s. But celebration starts when her husband died, poisoned by a cocktail that had been liberally laced with some of Diana's photographic chemicals. 60 years later, Diana's grandniece, Elena, is also turning 30, but with rather less fanfare. An overworked attorney in London, Elena's primary social outlet is an obsessive love affair. By distraction, Elena starts looking through her great-aunt's papers and soon develops an obsession. Determine just who did kill George in that lovely sunlit garden between the wars. I can't wait to read this one. It's a mystery, very vintage book, and it helped the bookstore, so that's on my list. And I have another one. Oh, I love this cover. And one day in my life, I want to rescue cows, rescue animals, and meditate with them. So, meditation with cows. And basically, it is a book based on a woman in a dairy farm with a cow that changed her life. Basically, you know, at some point she looked at the cow's life and it changed her perspective completely. You know, a person from a dairy farm seeing the animal as a being. It's, you know, heartwarming for me, and I can't wait to get into this book. But yeah, and then I also have a list on my Audible books that I want to read, and I will show you that. And one of them is The Embodied Mind. And after reading Becoming Supernatural, I learned that, you know, stress engraves into you at a cellular level. Emotions and energy engraves to you at a cellular level. So fixing, you know, your stress or something in you, it has to be deep fixed, as well as, you know, things from our ancestors or beyond consciousness. So The Embodied Mind, you know, it's a book that I want to read just to find a perspective of how, you know, we can heal at a cellular level. So that's one of them. The second one, since I got Crawley, my cat, we've been obsessed with birds. We even have a bird feeder, and we just like to watch them, you know, and she has taught me to slow down. And I love birds. First of all, before, I was afraid of birds because they're tiny and I wouldn't want to hurt them. But at the same time, it's like, they're tiny. So I used to be afraid of birds, but now that I got Crawley and I'm vegan, I love birds and I care for them, you know. So one of the books that I want to read now, coming up this year, is One Wild Bird at a Time. And I love the title, you know, and it says Portraits of Individual Lives. And it basically describes the individual lives of birds, you know. So I'm looking forward to that one. Another one that I want to read is The Murmur of Bees. Because as we all know, bees are a big part of our life and our ecosystem and our world and our planet. So I really want to get into that. And I have another Bob Goff book, which is Love Does. Basically, discovering secrets of extraordinary people in an ordinary world. So that's pretty cool. And I love his Everybody Always book, so I'm definitely gonna love that one. And another one that I want to read is also financial, you know, self-help book. It's called Financial Recovery. And basically developing a better relationship with money. Those are the books I have on my list so far. If you want to know any reviews or pick up the same books, go to my Goodreads link and follow me there. Let's become book buddies. And also I'm going to share with you Amazon link for you to have Audible, as well as if you want to get a Kindle. I'm actually saving for one, so I'll let you know in the next video I share about books. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so excited to get reading, and I hope to inspire you to grab a book or listen to one. It's amazing, and it's so easy to grab, you know, to play the book and listen to it as you are doing some other stuff. So I hope to see you in the next video, and have a good day.